Namaste all.
Namaste, ma'am.
So happy to welcome
Namaste.
you all to this webinar. It's going to be an interactive webinar on breaking the silence on why men's mental health matters. To give an introduction to our speaker, Mrs. Jyoti Kolattur is a senior consultant counselor. I would request all the participants to mute themselves. So Mrs. Jyoti Kolattur is a senior consultant counselor at the DAB Group of Schools, Arya Samaj Foundation Mindcare Initiative. She is an accomplished psychologist specialized in general and relationship counseling, career guidance, soft skills, suicide prevention, and addressing adolescent issues. With a compassionate touch, she navigates individuals and families through challenges, fostering resilience. She is a cognitive behavior therapy trained professional whose expertise tends to career counseling, incorporating mindfulness, creating a holistic approach to mental well-being. And she is part of the founding committee of the Tamil Nadu Career Counseling Association as well. Great orator. I'm very happy to have Mrs. Jyoti Kolattur with us today. Before we move on to the session, we would request a short survey from the audience. For that, I will paste this link now in the chat box. You can click the link and give your feedback or the options for 2 questions. The questions are, it will be again posted when you enter the site. Why do you think you as men do not open up about your mental health or emotional issues is the first question. The second question would be, if you're having an emotional or mind health issue, what is it? So I will just stop this share and I will share. So I have posted both the link as well as going to menti.com and typing the code. So whichever is comfortable, please do it. Once you click on the link, you will be taken to a website called menti.com where these questions will come. So now the voting is on. I will present the word cloud. Whatever options you give will be shown as word cloud. So just click the link in the chat box. For the new joinees, I'll post again. So, yeah, why do you think you do not open about mental health issues? Somebody said nothing. Okay, that's great. Nothing. Okay. I'll again post that link for the new join people. Fear on what others think. Okay. Men don't open up because fear on what others think. So just click the link in the chat box.
You can even type or you can even answer if you don't want to go there. You can even.
Yes, even in the chat box also. If you don't want to go to that link, just type in the Zoom chat box also. I do not open up because I do not know what's my exact problem. Shyness. We're waiting for some more responses. Ma'am, this session is for men and not for women. So one participant is not answering. Great. That's okay. Nice. And in case you think men are not opening up for certain issues, you can post that as well. How do I know about this? Good. Okay. Fear, hesitation, communication problem, ignorance,
Doesn't want to break down in front of the family.
Yes, ma'am. That's very true. That's very true. Yes. Thinking others may get scared. In the chat box we are getting, I may feel not important. Whatever I share may not be important for others. Hesitation, ignorance. We do not share. Generally, we do not share, ma'am. Oh, we do share. We do share. Okay. Somebody says we do share. Good. So, emotional. To satisfy others, I don't share. I don't share to satisfy others. Fear on what others think. So we'll go to the next question. So the next question is, if you're having any emotional or mind health issues, what is it? I am told to be strong. That itself is an issue. And fine, some people say. No in front of family. Okay. Inhibition, fear, ego. So what are the mind health issues? It can be sadness, it can be frustration, it can be anger, it can be anything. It can be that I don't have a purpose, anything, whatever it is. Please share so that Mrs. Jyoti Kolatur, the speaker for today, can take in your responses and try to help. Parent pressure, it's coming in the chat box. Parent pressure, ego. Yes. Okay. Anger is danger. Somebody has given a kind of a thing, anger is danger. That's good. Yes, sir. To face the society, we have problems to face the society. Okay. Okay, not
Expectations.
being given importance. Yes, sir. Expectations. Yes. Yes, sir. Very good. Okay. So I think we will, without further, okay, thinking about the past, social anxiety, thinking about the past, social anxiety. I'm told to be strong, and that itself is a problem for me. It's work, too much responsibility. That's too much responsibility. Okay, without further ado, going into the session, I'm stopping the share. Now the session is all yours. Over to Jyoti.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for the fourth webinar series organized by Arya Samaj Mindcare as we address a topic that is often shrouded in silence, yet crucial to be the well-being of half of our population, which is men's mental health, the perception of strength, resilience, has created a culture where men's mental health is either overlooked or misunderstood or even stigmatized, right? So today in our webinar, we will be talking about
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. Very
Yes.
sorry. And we would request you to be bilingual. This is a request from the
Yes,
audience.
yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Yes. So today we will be discussing about the stigma எப்படி break பண்ணணும் and எப்படி help யார்கிட்ட போய் help வாங்கிக்கணும் and how to discover our strength, right? So this is what we are going to talk about in today's session. Dr. Preeti is one of the persons who heads this Mindcare team, and thank you, Dr. Preeti, for organizing this. And thank you all for responding. Why men don't talk about mental health? Thank you for all your answers. And I just give me a second. I would like to share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So I did talk to. We did a survey with 500 men, and this is the answers we have received. Okay. Oh. I have learned to deal with it. 40% of the men told that I don't wish to be a burden on anyone. 36%, I'm too embarrassed, to talk about my mental health issues. 29%, there is a negative stigma around these type of things. 20%, I don't want to admit that I need support. 17%, I don't want to appear weak in front of others. I did somebody mentioned that also, right? 16%, I have no one to talk to, right? That is 14%, right? And see, this is what 500 men, like, they had told. And before we move on into the session, இங்க யாராவது 10 yearsக்குள்ள இருந்தீங்கன்னா, you can leave the session. And this is for slightly elder people. And if you want, நீங்க அம்மா or அப்பாவோட உட்கார்ந்து இந்த செஷனை கேட்கலாம். Okay? If you are below 10 years, you can leave the session. Okay? Okay, so these are some of the key findings. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
There was 70% of the people who said, like, they had some mental health symptoms. It can be anxiety, it can be stress, it can be depression, it can be anything, right? 40% says that they have not talked about their mental health issue at all to anybody. And 29% have told that, again, like the key findings, too embarrassed to speak about it. And they think this is a negative stigma. I cannot go and I apply for help because I'm a man, right? I cannot ask for help. The biggest cause of mental health issues in men are, the first thing is work, finances, and health. It can vary for all of us, right? So these were the main causes what people were talking about. 40% of them told, I don't mind self-harming. நான் வந்து self-harm என்ன கூட நான் ஹர்ட் பண்ணிக்குவேன். I don't mind even killing myself, but I cannot go and ask help. I cannot go talk about my mental health issues to anybody else. That part was really sad. And a few more. 1 in 7 men, 7 men இருக்காங்கன்னா அதுல கண்டிப்பா ஒருத்தருக்கு வந்து ஒரு mental health issue இருக்கு. ஓகே, அதுல 35.2% of men think ஏதோ ஒரு பாயிண்ட்ல, இப்போ நீங்க 40ஸ்ல இருக்கலாம், இல்ல 50ஸ்ல இருக்கலாம், இதெல்லாம் தான் மென்டல் ஹெல்த் இஷ்யூவா, எனக்கு இது இருந்திருக்கு, எனக்கு இது தெரியவே தெரியாது, அந்த மாதிரி நினைச்சவங்க 35%, right? A fifth of men had been diagnosed with, and all of these were only registered cases I am talking about, right? 3/4 of registered suicide deaths in the world in 2023 were men, right? So 191,000 men a year report stress, depression, anxiety, and that has caused them, it's getting worse, and they are not able to. Audience, can you please mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. So they were not able to focus on their work, right? So before, so this is again picture form. 77% have suffered from. That's 77% is a lot, right? Out of the, in 1,000, 77% had that they had a negative mental health issue. Okay, and I talked about these work pressure, financial pressures, and their health, right? So there's another issue which we are facing, which is the youth mental health, right? The youth and the teenagers இருக்காங்க இல்லையா, so அவங்களுடைய mental health is very, very, it's caring because of, it can be bullyingனால இருக்கலாம், இல்ல domestic violence, இல்ல relationship issues, இல்ல அவங்க inappropriate content அவங்க யூடியூப்லயோ எங்கேயோ பாக்குறாங்க. And அது they don't know how to, they're so vulnerable. அவங்களுக்கு அதை எங்க வென்ட் பண்ணணும்னு தெரியாது, அவங்களுக்கு அதை என்ன பண்ணணும்னு தெரியாது. So they always have this risk taking behaviors, and eventually all of this will end up in some addiction or the other, right? So our concern is more on the current youth also, right? So they don't listen. I'm sure all of you are noticing it, right? So last week in the rain, when some of the NGOs were offering food for them, எல்லாருக்கும் ப்ராப்ளம் வந்து milk and food இருந்தது. But there were few youth who are telling, ma'am, எங்களுக்கு கூலிப்ஸ் கூட கிடைக்க மாட்டேங்குது எங்கேயுமே, right? So that is very concerning about the current youth and their mental health, right? So what are the social expectations? Am I audible? எல்லாருக்கும் clear-ஆ இருக்கா?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. So this societal expectations, right? When we have the stigma and the stereotypes, They play a very significant role in shaping perceptions and masculinity. So I've kept it in points. I will explain it in detail. So in the traditional notions of masculinity. So traditional notions, man எப்படி இருக்கணும்னு யாராவது எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்றீங்களா? இதெல்லாம் பண்ணா man. Can someone unmute and tell?
They should be brave all the time, brave, ma'am.
All the time brave, okay? Brave இருக்கணும், strong இருக்கணும். All of these are
should not
typical.
cry. Fight at any given time.
Yes, you should not cry. Correct. All of these are typical stereotypes.
You should be able to fight. Fight, physically fight.
Exactly. Physically also, you should be strong. You should be able to fight. You should be, right? So always Nina stronger. Heroism, correct? So have you heard of this term called toxic masculinity?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Audience, can you please mute yourself if you don't have anything to share?
Others.
Morning in progress.
There's one
Okay.
example which I would like to share is like there's this Bollywood movie called Animal.
Mhm.
So how they have portrayed a toxic masculinity in that among
Mhm.
several other issues.
Right.
And I feel that kind of it sets so much of wrong expectations as to how a man should act like, positives and negatives. Uh, so I think being conscious and like showing weakness should never be a sign of um, you have to express yourself freely. We have to keep trying to express ourselves, no matter. And I think every single person can try to understand other people's problems. Try to empathize. Put themselves in their place. I think that will actually go a long way.
Yes, yes, perfectly said. And I did think about this movie also. But I've not watched it, but that talks a lot about toxic masculinity. Here, the characters here are like whatever most of you told, right? Being aggressive, both physically and mentally tough. I have to prove to the society that I'm tough, right? And belittling everybody's emotions, not just theirs, but everybody's emotions also. And treating the other person, if it is a spouse, treating them as they are very inferior to me, and male are always dominant characters and female are always below us. So these are all characteristics of toxic masculinity, and they never admit their mistakes, right? And they always think they are self-sufficient, and they always objectify, be it women. It's not about just others. It's like belittling everybody else, finding fault with everybody else, right? And this is not inherited. This is not from genes or any of those things. It's not genetic at all. So it is actually influenced by, be it culture or be it religion or be it economic conditions. I mean, again, I am really more worried about the youth because they show more of these characteristics, and especially the boys.
Correct,
Actually,
correct.
yes, so I'm noticing that a lot more because I am associated with a lot of government schools. And last week, maybe it's because of media also, it's because of movies, because they have these role models who are, in the media and movie, who are not the right people for them, right? So it's our duty to educate these kids that they are not role models actually. So one of the kids actually took a or alcohol bottle கொண்டு போய் அவங்க teacher அடிச்சிட்டார், right? So just before the rapes, right? So this, because they think that is masculinity, and that is actually not. That's like, you don't respect elders, you don't respect anybody else. So that is what the problem there is, right? So emotional expression na இப்போ நீங்க எல்லாரும் சொன்னதுதான். Boys don't cry, don't be a girl. இதை ரொம்ப ரொம்ப சின்னதுல இருந்தே we've been hearing, right? Maybe from age 3 parents would start, but before that both genders had the same emotions, right? Both of them did not know how to talk. Both of them did not know. எனக்கு பசினா அழ மட்டும் தான் தெரியும். Be it a boy, be it a girl. But we were okay with that. But by 3 years, this gender difference start. And even at home, I've heard many moms and dads say, you should, real men don't cry, or boys should not cry. Don't be a girl. Even in schools, even teachers use such things, right? So that is so wrong. right? And this independence and self-sufficiency. What is this all about? Actually, men are அவங்களுக்கு வந்து நீங்க அவங்கள சொசைட்டி தான் நம்ப வச்சிருக்கு, நீ வந்து பயங்கர ஸ்ட்ராங். தோ தே ஆர் நாட் வெரி ஸ்ட்ராங், யூ ஆர் வெரி ஸ்ட்ராங், யூ ஆர் செல்ஃப் சஃபிஷியன்ட். ஸோ அவங்களுக்கு அவங்களுடைய ஐடியல் செல்ஃபுக்கும் அந்த ரியல் செல்ஃபுக்கும் ஆல்வேஸ் ஒரு கிளாஷ் இருந்துட்டே இருக்கும். am I real, am I? ஸோ அதனால எப்பவுமே ஒரு மாஸ்கோடையே தான் இருக்க வேண்டியிருக்கும். ஸோ ஈவன் தோ ஐ எம் வெரி ஸ்கேர்ட் இன்சைட், நான் வெளியே வந்து ஐ எம் வெரி பிரேவ், ஐ எம் வெரி ஸ்ட்ராங், ஆல் ஆஃப் திஸ் தே ஹேவ் டு எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் வித் த மாஸ்க் only. Correct? And relationship expectations, right? So so before I move on, I want, if there are a few men here, so நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, what do you actually expect in a relationship? It can be, you know, with your parents, it can be with your partner, it can be with a friend, it can be with anybody, right? What do you actually expect in a relationship?
Well, the thing is, I feel like responsibility எடுக்கிறது, it's a that's how it should be, but it shouldn't be like overboard. Like என்ன சொல்றது, based on that person's ஒரு potential capability, and just try your best instead of like thinking what others say. அந்த feeling வந்து I feel every person.
நீங்க இப்போ okay, if you're married, or if you're, you know, if you're not married and you're with your parents, so you will be expecting something, right? You know, it can be, I will give you an example. You know, I expect respect. It can be from my partner, it can be from my parents, it can be from my friend, it can be from anybody, my sister. Correct? Right? So I want, so
There
you
are a
should,
few given in the chat box. They
yes,
say
please,
they have to
can you go?
respect
Yes.
each other options,
Yes,
understanding and honesty. Someone,
exactly.
there should be someone trustable who actually supports and listens to me. They should give me space. They should give me space.
Exactly, exactly. So this is what actually men expect. It's not very complicated, Ilya. So I asked in the questions, women should also understand. They are not expecting anything big or difficult, right? They are expecting very simple things. They are expecting respect, right? Be honest with me. So I accept me the way I am. So all of these are very simple, and you know, you should be able to give all of these things, right? So, and clear communication. நீங்க வந்து women have a problem with communicating clearly, and men cannot understand this complicated communication. If you have something, அதை நீங்க டைரக்டா சிம்பிளா சொல்லிட்டா men will be easily understanding. Otherwise, I told him, ma'am, எப்படி புரியாம இருக்கும்? அவங்களுக்கு புரியாது, because they are designed that way. You have something to tell it in a very simple, straightforward manner. Correct? So that is how. And emotional intimacy is also one of the things they look for. You know, don't judge me. Just நான் சொல்றதை அக்செப்ட் பண்ணிக்கிறதுக்கு யாராவது இருக்கணும் இல்லையா? So emotional intimacy also is one of the things they look for. And please, women and parents and kids, you have to understand, husbands and dads and fathers are not ATM machines, right? We cannot be treating them like that. So you have to understand what actual relationship expectations are. Okay. The next one is fatherhood expectations. நம்ம எப்பவுமே we only talk about motherhood and womanhood, and women alone go through a lot of difficulties during pregnancies. Actually, it is not true. The day they realize that they are pregnant, you know, the dad also goes through a lot of stress. You know, maybe அதை வெளியில சொல்லாம இருக்கலாம். Maybe, you know, they would not, right? So what are the kind of stress? You know, dads, do you want to share your thoughts before I go on?
To be able to provide for the kid.
Yes, to be able to provide for the kid is one of the important.
இது லெசன் இருக்கான்னு பாத்துக்க, நாளைக்கு எக்ஸாம்க்கு இல்லாமலாம் தேவலாம்.
What else?
They should take responsibility of taking care of the children.
Yes, that is a big stress, right? It is, they've never taken care of, you know, a baby. Like, you know, adults, it's easy for them. So there are some answers which I have received from, you know, young dads or the first time dads, right? Usually women just change like that. The day mother ஆன உடனே everything will change for them. But for men, it is so difficult, right? Because அந்த parenting stress ரொம்ப ரொம்ப high stress for them. Okay. So, and I don't know how to love unconditionally. இதுவே ஒரு பெரிய stress அவங்களுக்கு. But women can do it, right? And so there is another big stress they have. என் கிட்ட வந்து நான் என்ன பாக்குற மாதிரியே பாத்துருமோ, because I have so many faults. I'm flawed, I am inadequate. So that fear, that is very stressful for any dad, right? What if my son or daughter sees me the way I see myself, right? That's a big stress for a lot of dads. Okay, being responsible for some life, right, which they've never gone through. So that is very, very stressful. Okay, so we have to understand that fatherhood difficult. Fathers go through a lot of stress. As moms, as wives, we need to understand that they also go through a lot of stress. Clear? Can I move for?
One thing I just want to make one comment on that.
Yes, sir.
So the thing what you said is right. So the one thing I want to say is like a lot of things what fathers does goes unnoticed and taken it for granted more, and that recognition is what is like recognition is very important, right?
Correct.
Because like what the partners expect, the same thing the men also expect from the other partners. So that recognition is very important, which I think
it is lacking, sir, and especially in our society, because it is taken for granted. So like how sir was telling, and it is very natural for them to
for anything.
Yes. So I would move on to the next one. So these are I want you again, women can also answer this question, right? So what do you think are the stressors for them, apart from whatever I've written? Do you think there is anything else which causes a lot of stress for men? Yes, you can even type. How many of you agree work pressure is really high?
There are a few answers: in-laws, family issues, work and financial issues, anger, and finance again, future plans, balancing between mother and wife, work.
Okay. Yeah, work pressure is really high. It's high expectations and demanding deadlines and career-related stress. Like, am I in the right position? Should I grow forward? Like, how would I take care of it? And all of this work pressure is really high for men, especially, right? And somebody said, like, managing between wife and mother. That is again this family responsibilities where he has to balance family responsibilities, including caregiving, maintaining healthy relationships. It's extremely difficult for men. Actually, it is very easy for women. They fight, they argue, they cry, and it's all over. But for men, it is extremely difficult, right? And financial responsibilities. Not everybody is in the IT field. Ellarum பயங்கரமா சம்பாதிக்கல, but they still have to learn how to do this financial responsibility, balance it. But I want women and kids, if you are here, right, you have to understand that it is not easy for a dad to balance all of these things. He still has to provide for himself and for the family, managing these obligations, dealing with this economic uncertainties. This is extremely stressful, especially for male, right? So you lose a job for a woman, and it's not a big deal. And the man will be the spouse or the father or anybody, the man in the family would be the first one to come and tell it's okay. But when a man loses a job, there is nobody for doing that. Immediately everybody in the family is stressed, and they put more stress on the guy. We don't tell him, hey, it's okay. None of us tell that, right? So that is extremely difficult and very, very stressful for male, right? So societal expectations. So you have to be strong. You are the provider. I pity with the men, because the day they finish their degree, right? Retirement varaikum, he has to keep earning for us. He has to run for the family, and he does not complain much. All he expects is that little bit of recognition, that little bit of respect, and which is not too much. It is our duty to take care of them also, right? So that societal expectations, we have to give them. correct? And relationship struggles. So is there anything else here you want to talk about? It
There
can be
have been
that.
a few answers. Mothers are taught to mother a baby. Fathers will have to manage the baby as well as the mood of the new mother, which they are not taught about it, ma'am. And
Yes.
taking care of children's future, and they don't spend time with the family. That's a complaint from a female participant about the male. So
Okay. Okay. So they don't spend time with the, okay. Yeah, we will talk about it in the coping strategies where, this norms of masculinity is so much, right? It's like he has to provide for others, he has to be physically strong. See, I've seen, ma'am, I சொல்லிட்டே இது செய்யவே இல்லை. Sometimes, moving this heavy things also physically, maybe a male is not very strong and he doesn't have to come and tell you. You understand it is a problem there. Then நீங்க ஏதாவது try பண்ணி, you have to learn to fix it, right? Every time, every situation, a man need not be strong. Sometimes, actually, they are not. Most of the men are not strong. If you notice, these emotional movies எல்லாம் பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நீங்க கூட ஸ்ட்ராங்கா பாத்துருவீங்க மூவியை, but male members in the family cannot watch it fully. It's very difficult for them to complete that. Right? They should be the risk takers. They should be the protector. They should be tough. They should be, competitiveness should be high power. They have to show heroism. It is so difficult being a male, right? So, am I audible and clear? Can I move to the next one?
yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. So this one is what I wanted to explain a little more. I'll take some more time here. These are real cases. I've been seeing these cases. So I wanted to talk about these cases to you all. Right? These are, I will split it in, the order workplace expectations. There's a 47-year-old male, or a senior executive in a company. அவருக்கு வந்து பயங்கர anxiety and stress because of the high pressure, workல high pressure. அவருக்கு அவருக்கு தெரியும், அவருக்கு வந்து சப்போர்ட் வேணும், அவருக்கு ப்ராப்ளம்னு அவருக்கு தெரியும். பட் ஆனா இது வரைக்கும் அவர் வந்து எந்த ஹெல்ப்புமே எடுத்துக்கல. ஹீஸ் நெவர் டோல்ட் ஹிஸ் colleagues, he's never told his supervisors, he's never told his boss, because he fears that நான் இதை போய் சொன்னா, இந்த பொசிஷனுக்கு நீ இன்கேப்பபிள்னு சொல்லிடுவாங்க, யூ ஆர் அன்ஃபிட். அண்ட் ஐம் ஷுவர் ஒரு கார்பரேட்ல ஒரு ஹையர் பொசிஷன்ல ஒருத்தருக்கு ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் அண்ட் ப்ரெஷர் இருக்குன்னா, the colleagues are not going to be there to support that person. They wish, okay, he leaves, that position, is vacant, right? That is how it is. Though most of the MNCs, நிறைய corporates, in-house counselors இருந்தாலுமே, we have noticed male participants, the percentage is very, very low because of these reasons. If I go to a counselor, what will my boss think? What will everybody think? So I will not go, because even though it is confidential, they do not go, they do not get help in the workplace. That's workplace expectations, right? And social judgment. Social judgment. So these are real life cases which I've been monitoring very closely. Okay, social judgment. Or a 27-year-old male. He's expert and he is having a depression. He's and again the youth 27 year youth because these youth have like their demands and their expectations are so high, and they don't realize that it is not possible. So at 27, his girlfriend is told, you should have a own house, you should not have any debts. But he's bought a house with lot of loans from various people, various online sites, which was not reliable. But he was at a depression. His family did not know that, but he did not actually. He did not seek help. யார்கிட்டயும் ஃபேமிலிட்டையும் சொல்ல முடியல, ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் கிட்டயும் சொல்லல. But he was afraid that நான் போய் இதை சொன்னா என்னை வந்து நீ என்ன வந்து நீ மேனே இல்லைன்னு சொல்லிடுவாங்க, என்னை ஏதாவது கேலி பண்ணிடுவாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு he was struggling with so much mental health issues. And remember I told you, now 40% had told, I don't mind self-harming myself, but I will not get help. He did not know where to go get help. He actually committed suicide. He jumped of the office building from the 10th floor and he killed himself. He was a 27-year-old male only. And even the girls, the youth's expectations are so, it's not realistic at all. A 27-year-old male cannot have a own house, cannot, why should you be super successful at a very young age? There's so much time. You can take it easy, take it slow. So please understand that, you are not here to please everybody and anybody. correct? And relationship dynamics. Here, a 33-year-old male, he is going through a very difficult divorce, correct? And emotionally overwhelming divorce go through பண்ணும்போது. So, however, he did not get help. இதை போய் family கிட்டயும் பேச முடியாது. Again, friends கிட்டயும் help வாங்கல இவரு. So, because he was afraid, oh, நீ வந்து too vulnerable டா. நீ வந்து உனக்கு emotions handle பண்ண தெரியலன்னு யாராவது சொல்லிடுவாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு, he did not get help at all. He's a 33-year-old male, right? And cultural expectations. In our country, in some cultures, it is always told that men should be strong. They actually, in that community and that culture, they don't cry even if their own family members die. You know, especially the male, they are not supposed to cry. So this 35-year-old male, he had health issues, he had mental health challenges. He was compared, he came, but he did not talk. He came and he said, first question we asked is, how are you? Are you okay? He said, I am not okay, but I cannot talk because I cannot disappoint my family. என்னுடைய family என்ன வந்து என்னை ஏத்துக்கவே மாட்டாங்க. So அதனால he stopped. He did not even continue with the sessions after that, right? He's a 35-year-old male. And military and veteran stigma. That's so high in our country. A military personnel, actually, he lost his friend to suicide. But this person was actually going through post-traumatic stress disorder because his very close friend killed himself. But I need help. I cannot go get help because it's such a sensitive area where he's like his worry was, if I go admit that I'm vulnerable, he might lose his job. He will definitely lose his job because there is this high stigma associated with mental health and military. Oh, mental health issues irunda nee military la work panna mudiyadhu, correct? So he couldn't and he's not able to get help because of that stigma, right? Sports and athlete stereotype. 20-year-old male, a high performing athlete, is actually ஒரு பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் ஆங்ஸைட்டி, ஒரு பேர்ன் அவுட் இருக்கு அவருக்கு. பட் அகெயின் இதை போய் நம்ம என்னுடைய கோச் கிட்டையும் என்னால சொல்ல முடியல, என்னுடைய டீம்மேட்ஸ் கிட்டையும் என்னால சொல்ல முடியல. பிகாஸ் மை கோச் will tell, hey, you're such a big body da, because of you your team is going to lose da. Our coaches don't hesitate to talk like that, correct? So இதை சொல்லிடுவாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு he's been going through this 6 months now, right? So these examples, I've highlighted only 6 examples, right? So these examples highlight how our societal expectations and stigma can create barriers to seeking help, right? In each case, it is யாராவது என்ன ஜட்ஜ் பண்ணிடுவாங்களோ, யாராவது என்ன வந்து threat to my identity as a man, நீ மேனே இல்லைன்னு சொல்லிடுவாங்களோ, reluctance in discussing in the problem, to address even that mental health issues. So openly, correct? So recognizing and addressing these real life challenges definitely is essential. அப்பதான் வந்து stigma break பண்ண முடியும். Only then we can, support the environment, so that it is men's mental health friendly. So they can also approach us. They can also talk about it. I've talked about only 6 cases, right? There are thousands of cases like this where they need help, but they cannot get help, right? Am I with you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
There are 2 chats in the chat box.
Yes.
The men have said they always have anxiety that they will lose the job. And when they miss someone who is a best friend or colleague, suddenly when they are not expected, they go through a lot of trauma, which I think you just mentioned.
Correct. They do. And I will talk about what you need to do if you're going through that, right? So it's like, see, they are always, see, these were the reasons why men, those days, or families those days were like constantly talking about government jobs, right? But here, in any corporate, any jobs, it's like they have that fear all the time. Women don't have it, right? And this is a societal pressure. This is the next one. To confirm that traditional notions, again, masculinity, right? So I will talk about what is the challenge with this emotional, all of these topics, and what is the impact on your mental health. Can I proceed? Am I too fast, or is the speed okay?
You're in the correct place, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Yes, so emotional suppression, we all know, but traditional masculinity, they are often discouraged to open their expressions or any emotions. except anger இல்லையா men வந்து angry இருந்தா மட்டும் we are able to accept oh maybe he is stressed அதனால இல்லனா அவர் எப்பவுமே கோபப்பட்டுட்டு தான் இருப்பார் except anger no they are always compelled to suppress their feelings ஒரு வல்னரபிளா இருக்கேன்னு சொல்லிட முடியாது எனக்கு சேடா இருக்குன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது எனக்கு பயமா இருக்குன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது கரெக்ட் so except anger men are always compelled to suppress all the other when men come to me when I ask them what is the emotion you are going through majority of the men don't know how to say what they are actually going through right so what is the impact on mental health so that is the challenge right so what is the mental health so they are going to emotionally suppress பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருந்தா என்ன ஆகும்னா internally ஒரு internalized stress ஒரு anxiety always இருந்துட்டே இருக்கும் and அவங்களுடைய they don't know how to communicate also later on communicating emotions I'm talking about they will not know how to communicate emotions correct it may contribute so what will happen ஒரு sense of isolation கண்டிப்பா வரும் they will not know what are healthy coping mechanisms அவங்களுக்கு தெரியாது because they've suppressed all their emotions correct the next one is stigma around help seeking so see we have to understand it is not always the society right men are also adamant men are also adamant to accept that they need help, that they are vulnerable. They will never accept, correct? That's why even or a medical emergency agatum or a psychological help agatum, they always come very, very late actually. So they will not hesitate to take care of the family. But when it comes to them, they will always procrastinate. They will not come immediately, correct? And they will not cry. They will not vent out, so I should always be strong in the stigma here. Yeah. So what happens? What is the impact on the mental health for them is they always come for delayed intervention. When you are delaying the intervention, already damage is being done. Correct. So it may contribute to again you're going to isolate yourself. You're going to have a lot of issues internally. So even giving a solution is going to take a lot of time for these people. So pressure to demonstrate strength. Again, it starts very, very early, right? So men இந்த மாதிரி ஜாப்ஸ்ல தான் இருக்கணும் டெக்னிக்கல் ஜாப்ஸ்ல தான் இருக்கணும் ஸோ நீங்க வந்து ஒரு பெஸ்ட் I am a career counselor also for the DAV schools, right? So when I go and ask, they don't know what career they want. The first question men ask is, boys ask is, மேம் எனக்கு மந்த்லி இவ்வளவு ஏர்ன் பண்ற மாதிரி எந்த ஜாபா இருந்தாலும் நான் செய்வேன் so it is not about their passion or what they like or anything it is like how do I please people oh okay so how much will a cardiologist get ma'am you give them a number 3 lakhs oh 3 lakhs then I'll become a cardiologist they don't know what effort they have to put on so I have to make more money because I have to please people right so this is the mindset kids are in the youth now are in right so and they are teased and made fun of if ஒரு boy வந்து இன்னொரு boy மாதிரி behave பண்ணலனா they are always made fun of correct so what is the impact on the mental health for such people pressure to demonstrate strength right so constantly projecting strength right again like I told you they have to have this mask all the time so there are kids who I know who have to pretend that they are strong pretend internally they are so weak and vulnerable you touch them also they will cry but they have to act in front of everybody that they are very, very strong, right? Relationship expectations we did see in the previous slides, right? So actually, one more thing I wanted to add in this relationship expectations is, at 5 நீங்க moms and dads இருக்கீங்க இல்லையா so if you have a boy child please don't tell them நீ தான் எங்களை நல்லா பாத்துக்கணும் நீ எல்லா family நீதான் எல்லாம் பாத்துக்கணும் so if it's 10 11 12 boys I hear this a lot moms please அதை வந்து அவங்க கிட்ட சொல்லாதீங்க right so they will take care of you the way you are taking care of your parents you don't have to teach them and train them and say like நீ தான் என்ன பாத்துக்கணும் because that is very very stressful for kids they cannot focus on the school or academics right so don't do all of these things so relationship expectations high-ஆ இருக்கும்போது அவங்களுடைய mental health issue என்ன ஆகும் அப்படின்னா always ஒரு relationship strainலயே தான் போயிட்டு இருக்கும் right so oh my god I have to take care if I cannot take care where do I show all the anger to another person correct so they will always have this or fear to meet the societal expectations is this good enough it is nothing is enough for them whatever they do it's not they're not going to be happy right and career related stress right career we saw men they face the highest pressure because we see them as you're either successful or you're a failure there is so much in between right if you're not successful doesn't mean you're a failure right? So, and your career is not your end of life, right? Your titles will go, your company will go, but who are you, right? You cannot please everyone, you cannot, and you're not here to please everybody, right? So there's isolation and loneliness, yeah, that again. uh, so if, like I was talking about emotional intimacy, right? If you don't have a friend, if you don't have a family member, நான் என்னுடைய பிரச்சனைகள் இருக்கு, பட் எனக்கு அட்லீஸ்ட் ஒரு 1 or 2 friends, you need not have 2000 friends. அட்லீஸ்ட் அந்த எனக்கு இப்போ பயங்கர கஷ்டமா இருக்குன்னா என்னால கால் பண்ணி யார்கிட்டயாவது பேச முடியும், correct? So it can be a friend, it can be a partner, it can be anybody, correct? But you should have that emotional intimacy and 1 or 2 close friendships, right, where I can share. If you don't have, what are the impacts on mental health? So loneliness, again, it's, you're going to feel empty all the time. So that's when people, they said, right, I don't know who to talk to, right? Where can I go share my issues? So that is, and anxiety and depression is very, very common in people who feel isolated and who feel lonely. An impact of trauma. Impact of trauma. I'll tell you one case where I saw a man had, he came, he was just crying, no talking, nothing happened, right? So why are you crying? Maybe whatever reason. So after 1 hour of crying, just imagine a man sitting in front of you, just crying continuously for 1 hour, correct? And then he says, my father died 7 years back, right? 7 years ago he died. But today is when I'm crying for all of that. Now just imagine how much trauma he's going. The 7 years is delayed, right? So what would the impact on his mental health be, right? So because he's suppressed all his emotions, and this is what we call as post-traumatic stress, right? And this is going to hinder his healing process. And the healing could have started 7 years back if he would have done or vented out, right? So this healing process is going to take a lot of time, and this is definitely going to contribute. I'm glad he came, but though 7 years was very, very late, I'm glad he came and started seeking help, correct? And addressing all of these challenges involve, challenging and redefining. நம்ம ஒரு masculinityக்கு ஒரு norms வச்சிருக்கோம் இல்லையா, அது எல்லாத்தையுமே redefine பண்ணணும், fostering. So they have to have open conversation about mental health, ஒரு creative, supportive environment இருக்கணும், and where they can just come and they can express however they feel, and their experiences they should be able to share, so we can promote an overall well-being, correct? And we also immediately if a man or somebody is going through rough times, tough times, be it career, be it relationship, immediately நம்ம luck blame பண்ணுவோம், இல்லைன்னா horoscope blame பண்ணுவோம். Mental health and horoscope does not have any connection. If you're having a mental health issue, you need to seek professional help, not horoscope, not blame your luck, right? Okay. Am I all?
Yes, ma'am. Request you to கொஞ்சம் இது இன்னும் தமிழ்ல அதையும் எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண சொல்றோம். ஹாரோஸ்கோப், அஸ்ட்ராலஜர் எதுக்காக போவாங்க இந்த மாதிரி நேரத்துல? Yes, ma'am.
ஓகே. சரி, நீங்க இப்போ உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கு, இப்போ வேலையில ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு, எனக்கு ரிலேஷன்ஷிப்ல ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, மேபி த கரண்ட் ஜெனரேஷன் வில் நாட் கோ யூ, ரைட்? மேபி, பட் when your parents know உங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு, உங்களுக்கு பிரச்சனை இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, இமீடியட்லி they will இது பண்ணா சரியா போயிடும், இந்த இந்த கோயிலுக்கு போனா சரியாயிடும், இந்த பரிகாரம் பண்ணா சரியாயிடும். See, continue doing all of that. I'm not denying any of those things. But these do not, இதனாலதான் ஹாரோஸ்கோப்னாலதான் மென்டல் ஹெல்த் இஷ்யூ எல்லாம் கிடையாது, right? If you have, like I was telling you, right? So இப்போ எப்பவுமே பாட்டில் அப் பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தீங்கன்னா, நீங்க 7 years பாட்டில் அப் பண்ணியிருந்தா, just imagine those 7 years would have been hell for him and his family. He would be agitated, he would be angry, எல்லாத்துக்குமே, correct? So உங்களுடைய mental health issues does not necessarily have to, you don't have to blame your horoscope for it, correct? Just get help, you will get better, right? So the next one is, so how do I know? எனக்கு நீங்க இவ்ளோ சொல்லிட்டீங்க மேம். So எனக்கு so before going there, யாராவது perfect man அப்படின்னு, and I read this online, so I wanted to ask, உங்களுக்கு ஏதாவது டெஃபினிஷன் இருக்கா? பெர்ஃபெக்ட் மேன்னா யார்? இதெல்லாம் பண்ணா அவர் தான் பெர்ஃபெக்ட் மேன் அப்படின்னு ஏதாவது இருக்கு?
There is an answer that Lord Ram is a symbol of a perfect man. Swami Vivekananda is a
perfect man. Okay. Okay. What else? இப்போ we will leave Ram and Vivekananda. Current generationல we will talk. இதெல்லாம் பண்ணா perfect. Because we cannot find Ram, we cannot find Vivekanandas now, right?
A person who does everything on time is a perfect man.
Yes, on time is a perfect man. Yes. Who else is a perfect
It's all
man?
in the chat
person
box.
who
Who accepts
helps everyone.
a child is telling that who helps everyone is a perfect man,
Perfect.
and
Okay.
somebody has put who accepts self as an imperfect is a perfect man.
Okay.
And one of them has said perfect is a perception.
Perception. Okay. See, this is not a very serious discussion. Okay. So I read this. I wanted to share this with you. So I want to. There was a list actually. So a person who wakes up at 5 a.m. every day is a perfect man. A person who exercises every day is a perfect man. A man who makes his own bed is a perfect man. A man who cleans his room is a perfect man. A person who does not indulge in night life or parties போகாதவங்க perfect man. Who works sincere work பண்றவங்க perfect man. Okay. Alcohol குடிக்காதவங்க perfect man. Who is always punctual for everything is a perfect man. Who sometimes once in a while helps in the kitchen is a perfect man. Who prays every day is a perfect man. Who reads every day is a perfect man. Who goes to bed on time every day sharp, 9 or 10 is a perfect man. So, do you all agree with that?
No, ma'am.
No, not exactly.
There's one place where you can find all these characters in, this, there is, where do you find such perfect men?
I think only in jail we can find them.
Exactly. Actually, that's the right answer. Only
Oh,
in
is
jail.
that so?
That
Oh,
is-
jail la paaka mudiyuma. Okay.
that is the right answer, Dr. Preeti, because that's the only place where he does actually, whether he likes it or not, he doesn't have a choice. He has to follow all of these things, right? So, and jails are not the way how they show in movies. Okay, I've seen they do follow all of these and they have to follow. So that's the only place. Adnala, ladies, please understand that perfect man, no, idella kadiyadu, only in the jail we can find, there are nobody who is perfect, right? ஓகே. ஸோ ஹவு டு யூ ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் எனக்கு வந்து ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கா? எனக்கு எப்படி மேம் எனக்கு சிம்டம்ஸ் தெரியும்? ரைட்? ஸோ இட் கேன் பி ஃபார் யுவர் செல்ஃப் ஆர் இட் கேன் பி ஃபார் எனிபடி இன் யுவர் family. It can be for your father, it can be for your brother, it can be for your spouse, it can be for your son, it can be for your friend also. Right? I am always angry, I am always irritable, I am aggressive, right? Because men always show it as anger, irritability, and aggressive. When they are highly stressed, this is how they show, right? Noticeable changes in mood, right? ரொம்ப ஆப்வியஸா எனக்கே தெரியுது, இல்லை என் ஃபேமிலியில அடிக்கடி சொல்லிட்டே இருக்காங்க, என்னுடைய எனர்ஜி லெவல் ரொம்ப லோவா இருக்கு. மை appetite, நான் எதர் ரொம்ப அதிகமா சாப்பிடுறேன் ஆர் நான் சாப்பிடவே என்னால சாப்பிட முடியுது. ஆர் இட் கேன் பி டூ மச் ஆஃப் ஸ்லீப், நான் ரொம்ப நேரம் தூங்குறேன் ஆர் நான் தூங்குறதே கிடையாது. ஏன்னா நான் பெட்ல இருப்பேன், பட் ஐ ஜஸ்ட் ஐ எம் அவேக், ஐ எம் நாட் ஸ்லீப்பிங். ஓகே. அண்ட் ஐ எம் ஃபைண்டிங் இட் டிஃபிகல்ட் டு கான்சென்ட்ரேட் ஆர் ஐ எம் ஃபீலிங் ரெஸ்ட்லெஸ் ஆல் த டைம். Right? So I have this increased worry about, or I'm feeling stressed, increased worry. Somebody was talking about job. It can be about anything, but people tell me I'm overthinking, right? So you're slowly getting into a coping mechanism called alcohol or using drugs. Okay. And you're persistently sad. எப்பவுமே ஒரு sad moodலயே இருக்கீங்க நீங்க. Or feeling, having trouble feeling positive. So is everything okay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you're engaging in high risk activities, right? So today also, I don't know if you read newspapers, when people are extremely having high levels of anxiety and stress, should not take any decisions, right? So what he did, he killed his wife and he took his car and he started, going in the wrong directions in high speed. So he could kill himself also, and he killed himself and his wife. And highly educated. Today morning it happened, right? So they're having aches and it can be any ache. எனக்கு வலிக்குது, எனக்கு பயங்கர ஹெட் ஏக்னா நம்ம இமீடியட்லி would have gone to a doctor. எல்லா ஸ்கேன்ஸ் எடுத்தாச்சு, எல்லா டெஸ்ட்ஸும் எடுத்தாச்சு. Test saying there's nothing wrong with you, you're perfectly fine. But ஆனாலும் எனக்கு பயங்கரமான ஒரு தலைவலி. See, if you're having headache, the back all the time, ஒரு pounding headache இருந்துட்டே இருக்குன்னா, when you're highly stressed, உங்களுக்கு headache இருந்துட்டே இருக்கும். ஆர் உங்களுக்கு வந்து கட்ல ப்ராப்ளம், டைஜஷன்ல ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, ஸோ then it is because of stress, right? You're having obsessive thinking. You're having thoughts of, you're always எனக்கு ஒரு பார்ட்டி போக வேண்டாம், என் ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் பார்க்க வேண்டாம், எனக்கு வந்து ஒர்க், என்னுடைய ப்ராப்பர் ஒர்க்கை என்னால பண்ண முடியல, right? So unusual thinking or behaviors that concerns other people, and you're not normal at all. People have started telling that you're not behaving normal, right? Suicide thoughts, like disturbing thoughts are coming. Why should I be alive? Improve பண்ணி nobody is satisfied. So why should I do that? Right? So all of these are symptoms. If you're having 3 or more, right? Please definitely get help. Right? So how can family members help? Understanding and supporting men in our lives is our duty, right? Be it our husband, son, friend, father, whoever it is, right? Encourage open conversation. அவங்கள ஒரு honest-ஆ பேச விடுங்க. Immediately don't judge them, right? Let them talk whatever they feel and validate their emotions, right? See, if you are sitting and crying, all these men I was talking about will always come and say it's okay or ennache. But when a man is crying, we don't go there and ask, are you okay? It's okay, பரவாயில்ல பாத்துக்கலாம். We never say that, right? Immediately you want to know more. Who did this? Why are you like this, right? Don't do any of those things. Just be there for that person, right? Validate their emotions and be empathetic. Be understanding that they're also going through something. It is very difficult being a male, right? So avoid stereotyping. பாருங்க, அவங்களுக்குலாம் உண்மையாகல நீங்க மட்டும் தான் go through பண்றீங்களா? So don't stereotype, correct? And be patient and offer practical support. நீங்க வந்து ரேண்டமா ஏதோ சொல்லாம just whatever is possible practically, right? And celebrate small achievements. Somebody was telling, right? So they have done something, it doesn't have to be big and great always to celebrate. ஏதாவது ஒண்ணு நடந்திருக்கும், something nice or something very small, it is okay to celebrate, right? So you will celebrate your kids achievements. பயங்கரமா celebrate பண்ணுவீங்க. The same way it is for the partner also, it is for your father also, it is for your brother also. Something small, it's okay to celebrate, right? So if you think they need counseling or help, you also start going with it. So they feel like, they don't feel left out. Correct? So stay informed about their interests. So majority of the time, நீங்க எனக்கு என்ன பிடிக்கும்னு அவருக்கு தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது, எனக்கு என்ன பிடிக்கும்னு உங்களுக்கு தெரியல, you complain a lot, right? Do you know what they like, right? So please be informed about what are their interests, what do they like, right? So remember, every individual is unique. So adapting to these tips will only help you, like, so you can take care of the men in your life. And dear world and dear members here, I want you to tell you that emotional men are not weak at all, right? It is okay for a man to cry, right? How do you cope with these stresses? So first you need to understand, and right, because there is no one formula which fits all, or one solution which fits all, right? So first you need to identify what is causing that stress, right? So if you're able to understand and find the root cause, then it's easy to fix it, right? So identify your stressor first. And mindfulness itself is a topic by itself. I want to take one session on mindfulness and relaxation techniques, so which will help you understand how to do it, right? Mindfulness is all about being in the present, not worrying about the past or your future. How you do that is all about mindfulness and relaxation, correct? Physical activity. So men in the group, can I ask you, is somebody's moving the slides, or okay, that's my hand. So physical activity. So men in the group, can you tell me, if you're 30 and above, you can answer this question, okay? So do you remember playing this, with your friends on the streets when you were young?
Yes, kabaddi, all the games we play.
You played, right? You played. So
Yes.
so how
Yes,
did
we
you
do play
see
kite.
kite? Correct. And the cricket also you used to play, right? So why I'm saying cricket?
Seven
Is
stones, ma'am.
Pardon me?
7 stones. That 7 stones.
Exactly, 7 stones, cricket, kabaddi, kite, all of these were, physical activity. It doesn't exist anymore now, right? So none of this current generation play, right? And these were actually, those kids were never stressed, right? So do you remember that? You would only be getting yellings because you were always outside playing, not because you were sad or stressed, or you never had that stress. Can someone explain, like, was it fun, or was it like boring, or was it stressful?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
that time we don't have this educated parents, madam. So there is no,
Yes, sir.
Actually,
no need
parents.
to read too much that time, madam. No ranks, nothing.
Yeah.
Today,
Yeah.
because of this
Other,
educated parents, people have to read too much.
actually, we will go out in the evening 4 o'clock, then come back only at 8 o'clock for food. For food,
Yes,
only
that
we will
also,
come.
see, only because you're hungry, you will come back. Or your
Yeah,
mom or dad will come searching for you. Where are you, right? So,
yeah. Only for food we will come back.
exactly. Like, and if it's a weekend, it is all day out. It's always
All day
fun.
out. Yeah, yes.
Yes.
We will
So,
take a cycle and a bat, cricket bat.
somebody perfectly told, it is like we never had that highly educated. Highly educated parents are the problem, right? Who are they? That is you. That is all of us, right?
We were not having technology, ma'am, that time.
Yes. See, but today,
Technology
sir,
has changed.
see,
Technology has changed and
yes,
confined them into the room. That's why they play with the technology only. All PUBGs and other things, they get it and they play in the room itself. They enjoy the same thing and they are become single. They don't have any friends. They don't have any relations. So these
exactly.
all things makes them so, and they get stressed and moreover whatever they demand they get from the parents easily because that time we had more than two children but nowadays everybody has only one child and they want to give what I didn't get that all things I want to provide to my children. This
Exactly.
tendency has come to the parents. That's
Correct.
why it's all stress even if they are not getting their mood off, they get stressed. Why my father is not giving these feelings also? Then they get fight or something. They become aloof sometime. So these
Correct.
all things are happening because of that
Correct.
technology. Technology is somehow it is good, but sometimes it is becoming worst for the children, especially.
Correct. Actually, sir, I mean, I do visit schools, and this physical activity, the current generation also like it. But why it is becoming, even physical activities become stressful for them, sir. Even if you, pull away the gadgets and ask them to go play, uh, there is no physical play how you and I used to play on the streets with no rules, or only your group, right? Your local gang will have a set of rules, correct? But the physical activity is
And
not fun
excuse
anymore.
me, madam.
Yes,
I want to add something.
yes, sir.
We work for only the future happiness of the children. We
Exactly.
don't work for the current happiness of the children.
Exactly, sir. Because and what I would like to say, as you as parents, at least from now on, physical activity, you're not okay. Maybe it's because of the safety, or because you don't have any kids in that area, or whatever be the reason. Yeah. So what we do is you pay and send them to some class or something, some activity, because they need physical activity. At least be sure and be clear that you're not sending your child or certificate-க்காகவோ ஒரு trophy-க்காகவோ இல்லாம physical activity has to be fun and enjoyable. Correct? So at least அதையாவது we'll have to make sure. I'm talking about physical activity for you as adults. I'm not talking for the kids. The kids will be fine, right? Even as adults, are you having it? I want you to connect back உங்களுடைய school friends or college friends, because like I told you, and that emotional intimacy can be there only with your school and college friends. You will always have this, a line or a boundary with your colleagues. You will never get cross that boundary, correct? So one or two friends, can you have that connection? Can you go and play with them, right? Weekdays you cannot, but at least weekends, 1 hour for yourself. Can you get back and play your games? It can be shuttle, it can be cricket. I don't know how much space we have now, but whatever possible, just 1 hour for yourself, right? And time management. Please learn how to prioritize. Work need not be a priority all the time. Right? Sometimes work will be, right, if it is an emergency. And sometimes it is family. Correct?
I'm
So
sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Can you
yes.
tell them in Tamil as to what is prioritizing means?
Okay. Sorry, doctor. எஸ் டைம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் உங்களுக்கு ஆல்வேஸ் உங்களுடைய ஒர்க் தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட். யாரோ சொன்னாங்க இல்லையா, ஹி டசன்ட் ஸ்பெண்ட் டைம் வித் மீ. அது இல்லாம யூ நீட் டு லேர்ன் டு ப்ரையாரிட்டைஸ். சம்டைம்ஸ் யுவர் கிட்ஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட், அவங்க தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட். உங்களுடைய 24 ஹவர்ஸையும் அவங்க கொடுக்கறதுக்கு சம்டைம்ஸ் கிட்ஸா இருப்பாங்க, சம்டைம்ஸ் ஒர்க்கா இருக்கும். ஸோ சம்டைம்ஸ் இட் கேன் பி ஃபேமிலி, ரைட்? ஸோ சம்டைம்ஸ் இட் கேன் பி யுவர் செல்ஃப். ஓகே, ஸோ எப்பவுமே வந்து they talk about in the work life balance. This time to this time is work, this time to this time is family னு பண்ணவே முடியாது, because prioritizing will change. Correct? So time management you should learn. Realistic goals வச்சுக்கோங்க நீங்க. I mean, if you are young, if you are in the youth, please, you don't have to become very successful so quickly, because have realistic goals, have achievable goals first, right? That will help you, because again நீங்க end of the day it is you, right? So it is like, because I know a person who is from an IIT graduate, and always super successful, always growing on the ladder in the career, and then like last few years he is he gotten into high depression, and like last 4 years he's not gone to work. Just started before the pandemic, and 4 years he's not working. So there is no IIT படிச்சிட்ட big deal, nothing like that. Set achievable goals. It is okay. It is okay to grow slow sometimes, right? Because last time and last week we all knew that there's this cyclone, and வெளியிலேயே போக முடியல, எதுவுமே பண்ண முடியல. ஒரு storm இருந்தா என்ன பண்ணணும்? Very simple, duck and just wait for the storm to pass. Then everything will come in place, right? Yeah. So the next one, social support. Please have, these are the reasons when you don't have social support is when you will give me that answer that I don't have anybody to talk to. Correct? So நீங்க social media போய் 2000 friends எல்லாம் வச்சுக்கவே வேண்டாம். Be close to your family, be close to, have good friends, have a support network. I call, somebody is there to come and help me, right? So where you can share your feelings and they will not judge you. Correct? And healthy lifestyle. How many of you are sleeping 8 hours? Are you sleeping?
Definitely, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
No, ma'am.
Mostly no, ma'am.
Mostly.
Men also in our family, they sleep, they get up, but I think they get only 6 hours basically, ma'am.
Yes, they get 6 hours, but you need 8 hours of sleep, right? Are you having a balanced diet? Are you a person who eats biryani at 11:30 in the night? Because I don't have time, because எனக்கு பயங்கர பிஸியா இருக்கேன். See, all of this busyness, all of this career, it's only, you need to have at least that food on time. Correct? Are you having a balanced diet? Are you, using alcohol or a substance? It can be anything substance, right? To reduce your stress, right? So focus on that and limit this unnecessary information. Even during the pandemic, we were telling, please don't watch TV, please don't get unnecessary overload of information, right? There is no good news which is being telecasted on media, right? One good news means they only read it once, right? If it's a controversial news or if it is unnecessary, they will show it 100 million times, correct? Because they are stress inducing. Okay, and this mindset shift. Okay, focus on unga control edavadhu irundha, you can do something. If it is not in your control, rain, was it in our control? Number control illa, rain and the cyclone and the storm. What did we do? We just stayed home, right? We stayed until 2 days later everything was okay. Then we started going out. If it is in your control, take some action. If it is not in your control, just let it go, because you can't do anything about it. Worrying is only going to cause you stress and nothing is going to happen. Correct? And hobbies, right? So does anyone have a hobby now?
We watch TV and social media, ma'am. I mean,
That is not
for the men
hobby.
as
Okay?
well.
That's not hobby.
Most of us forgot to
Music.
do. Listening music.
Listening music is
See, listening music alone, I cannot accept at all. அது நீங்க கார் ஓட்டும் போது கேட்கறது is not hobby. Okay? Do you sit and listen to music?
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am. Will do.
Reading book is my hobby, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So see,
As you,
yeah.
I may interrupt. As you rightly said, there might not be. I mean, men might not find like-minded people in their colleagues. My husband has this group of friends right from his school times, whom he meets even today, morning, afternoon, night. He is happy with them. and he plays, that settles the mental health of these people. Luckily, all these people are together. They play, they talk about cricket, any sport for that matter. One match over on the TV, the group is alive. They meet often in their friends' places. That is keeping their mental health alive, ma'am.
Exactly. So that is what I'm talking about. See, hobbies and leisure activities. See, when we were young, I remember, see, even our schools had embroidery classes, or or your parents would ask you to go for singing, music class, or dance class, or art class, or whatever. Correct. So that actually they did not know that that was actually a coping mechanism for any stress or anything, right? So, but those are the activities we use as therapies now. We use music therapy, we use art therapy, we use இது எல்லாமே தெரப்பி ஆயிடுச்சு. பட் இது எல்லாமே நம்ம நேச்சுரலி நார்மலி வீட்ல பண்ணிட்டு இருந்த விஷயங்கள், ரைட்? ஸோ இஃப் யூ ஆர் எக்ஸ்ட்ரீம்லி ஸ்ட்ரெஸ், பி இட் மேன் ஆர் விமன் ஆர் கிட், நீங்க மண்டலான்னு ஒரு ஆர்ட் இருக்கு, ரைட்? ஸோ ஒன் ஆஃப் த டேஸ் வி வில் டூ. ஸோ மண்டலா ஆர்ட்டை எடுத்து ஸ்டார்ட் கலரிங் or doing artwork or just taking a picture and coloring. After 30 minutes, you will see how relaxed you feel. Right? And our parents never knew that was a therapy, and that's why there's music therapy, there's art therapy, there's dance therapy. All of this
There
has
are
become
a few inputs in the chat box, ma'am. People have put that they bakes cakes, searches recipes, make good food, and then go to temples. And one have said, I do not know what hobby to pursue. So for that, I think your answer will now be of help. Yes,
right.
And
So all very simple things. It has to, see, when you're doing that, it should not be stressful. For some, even drawing is stressful, right? So if that is the one, then that's not your hobby. Something which is going to calm you down and relax you, right? And when all of this is not working, எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ரெஸ், எனக்கு ஓவர்வெல்மிங்கா இருக்கு மேம், என்னால முடியவே இல்லை, then please don't hesitate, to seek professional help, right? So I understand உங்க ஆபீசஸ்ல இருக்காங்க, ஆனா என்னால போக முடியல மேம். See, Mindcare is doing an amazing job where very very affordable, and it is not only DAV பசங்களுக்கு or DAV parents-க்கு கிடையாது. Anybody can approach, and it is confidential. Nobody will ask, if you don't want to share your name, that is also accepted, right? So get help, and you should know when to seek professional help. You've tried everything and எதுவுமே work ஆகல ma'am, then please don't hesitate to get help, right? And we will in the end of the session, I will share the numbers you need, right? So express yourself. If you have the habit, யாருக்காவது டைரி எழுதுற பழக்கம்லாம் இன்னும் வச்சிருக்கீங்க அப்படின்னா, please start writing, putting it down. And the next one is learning to say no. Learning to say no. Yeah. It's better than piling up tasks. எனக்கு ஆஃபீஸ்ல நோ சொல்லவே முடியாது மேம், அதனால எனக்கு என்னுடைய ஒர்க்கை முடிக்க முடியல. I have pile of tasks to complete. Peaceful no is always better than piling up your things, right? So saying no is not being selfish. Saying no is self-care. You can be a very good person and be kind-hearted and still be able to say no. Because, if you're very kind-hearted, they will dump all of the others' work on your head. So you can still be learning to be comfortable in saying no. If it's not your work and you are, they are using you, you should be able. So that way, it's actually, you're going to reduce your anxiety, and it is self-care. It is not being selfish, right? So positive affirmations. So have you heard of these, positive and negative coping mechanisms? Coping mechanism positive and negative இருக்கு. Okay, so நீங்க இப்போ நம்ம சொன்ன எல்லாமே வந்து positive coping mechanisms. Again, listening to music or singing or dancing or painting or putting it down in a diary or a paper, ஒரு இன்ஸ்ட்ருமெண்ட் பிளே பண்றதாகட்டும், இல்ல கத்துறதாகட்டும், so stress நான் போய் ரூம் கிளீன் பண்ணுவேன், அது ஆகட்டும், ஆர் வாலண்டியரிங். எனக்கு 1 weekல I can spend 2 hours then volunteering, or just going and sleeping, or rewarding yourself. Simple things, right? Deep breathing, number meditation and the mindfulness பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா, slow breathing, deep breathing. And then, if you're extremely stressed, முடியல, then you can, அந்த நெயில்ஸ் இருக்கும் இல்லையா, பெரிய ஆணி இருக்கும், அதை வந்து போர்ட்ல வச்சு அதில் அடிக்கிறது, playing, getting out and playing. All of these are positive coping mechanisms, right? So இதுல எல்லாருக்கும் எல்லாமே work ஆகுமானா not necessarily, right? You can pick and choose what will work for you, and you can because coping mechanism is an ongoing process. It's not a one day thing, right? So it is okay to experiment with, like somebody said, right? I tried, it's not working for me. Then leave that and go for the next one, correct? A different strategy. So if stress is persisting and it's overwhelming, then don't hesitate to seek help, correct? And there are negative coping mechanisms. And what is this? I don't want you to go into that negative coping mechanism. Okay, problem irukka, அதை postpone பண்ணிடும், அதை பத்தி நாளைக்கு பார்த்துக்கலாம், அதை நாளைக்கு பார்த்துக்கலாம். You know, postponing your problems, wasting time on. See, when you are postponing your problems, what will happen? You'll start focusing on unwanted things. You're spending a lot of, you're wasting your time, not spending. Okay, wasting your time on unwanted, or blaming somebody else for it, or isolating yourself, withdrawing yourself from others, gossiping, right? Manipulating. You're lying to your family members or your loved ones that you are fine and you're doing something, but you're lying there, right? So denying the problem. You're not even accepting that there is a problem, right?
Yeah, better.
ஓவர் ஜெனரலைசேஷன், ரைட்? ஏதாவது பிரச்சனைனா, ஓ எல்லாருக்குமே எங்க வீட்டுல பிரச்சனை தான், எல்லாமே ப்ராப்ளம் தான், மை லைஃப் இஸ் ஆல்வேஸ் லைக் தட், ரைட்? ஸோ டினைங் த ப்ராப்ளம், ஆல் த டைம் திங்கிங் or just blanking out, correct? High suicidal thoughts, drug or alcohol, and or you're blaming, you're either blaming somebody else or you're blaming yourself, right? Spending too much online, spending, getting into gambling, so that I will find a quick solution. All of these are negative coping mechanisms. Please don't do such things. And the last one was connecting with the nature. If possible, just half hour, 30 minutes for yourself is not a bad thing. If you can find somebody in your neighborhood, you can, like a walking group or something once a week at least. It can be walking in the park or walking, just sitting in the park. That is definitely going to calm you down, and you will have at least somebody with you. Right? I don't have anybody will not be the answer the next time we all talk. Correct? So together, yes, we can. So breaking the stigma around men's mental health requires collective effort. It's not a one-day thing, like I told you. It is crucial in understanding, encouraging open conversations, challenging outdated stereotypes. So you already இருக்கிற stereotypes are number you have to change, right? So we can create a supportive environment where men should feel empowered and prioritize their mental health well-being also. So let's unite to break the silence, eliminate all the judgments, and build a culture that values and nurtures mental health of every individual, be it man or be it woman, right? Together we can make a lasting impact and create a positive change, focusing on men's mental health. I hope I made sense to you all. So I'm
Very nice, ma'am. Only one quick question. When
Yes.
you're talking about the positive coping mechanism, you're talking about the no. That is very, 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 very right thing. It's really no meaningful. But the problem is, see, when it comes to work-life balance, no, women always can easily say no and cutthroat, and because of we always feel that, oh, my husband won't say no to me even if I'm throat off and come. That kind of no, a positive attitude with us. But they are no, every time they're just agreeing. No, even if they want to say no, they're agreeing only because they have the fear of no loss of job.
Correct.
So really don't know how to cope up with
See,
that.
that is again a fine line. Whoever is asking that question, so it is definitely a fine line. Sometimes, you can be very polite in saying a no. So you will know if you're overdoing it or not, correct?
Yes.
You can still be, that's why I said you can still be nice, and see, especially if you're a very nice person, a nice human being, people are going to dump it on you. See, and I don't know about the other industries, but I have definitely seen in IT, the corporates where, people tell me, oh, எனக்கு 12 hours work பண்ண வைக்கிறாங்க ma'am, 10 hours work பண்ண வைக்கிறாங்க ma'am. But actually, if you go sit there and see, are they genuinely working for 8 or 10 hours or 12 hours? Definitely not, right? So it's okay to say no if you have realized, because see, that's going to, is it okay to say no now or take all the burden and pressure and suffer?
True. But the thing is, the fear is there. No, that is when they are unable to say no. That is the
Correct. See, that fear is always going to be there. Even if you do it,
class
right? So they are, even if you do it, they are not going to appreciate you, or any of those things are going to happen.
Correct. Correct.
There is one more question, ma'am.
Yes.
My husband, my partner, when they are diagnosed with a mental health condition, even when we offer support, they refuse to accept the help and they don't proceed. What do I do in this case?
Okay. See, if you, okay, so they are diagnosed with a
In connection with that, I have one more thing. No, see, as you rightly mentioned in the several things. No, see, first thing, no, they feel that no, if they are letting out, no, especially the financial or family decision crunch, no, able to just to communicate with others. மத்தவங்க கிட்ட பேசுனா அது வந்து அவங்களோட இமேஜை வந்து கீழே கொண்டு வந்துரும் அப்படின்னு they are feeling. So they are unable to break that stigma at all, ma'am. Actually, that is
that's
another
why
one.
I was talking about that emotional intimacy, right? So it has to start at home. So it is not a one-day thing. It is going to take some time for them to trust. See, women from day one, அன்னைக்கு கல்யாணம் ஆனா next day ல இருந்து you will become emotional intimacy towards the husband is there. But for men, you have to develop it. It's going to take time. See, once it is diagnosed, once you think he is having some mental health issue, நீங்க அவர் மட்டும் போவேன்னு சொல்லாம, I will also join you. Let's work it together. Then it might work. You know, first time, no சொல்லுவாரு, but second time you tell, I need help. You come with me. See, இது வரைக்கும் mental health support எடுத்தவங்க யாருமே வந்து, it did not help ன்னு சொன்னதே இல்ல. Only, see, the stigma is to come there. Because like you said, யாராவது என்ன நினைச்சிருவாங்க, நான் வீக்குன்னு யாருக்காவது காட்டிடணும் இல்ல. So that is why, see, at home it has to start. It's okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to be weak. It is okay to be stressed. But how do we get help and move forward? Correct? So that's why I even tell the young boys, now 6th standard boys, it's okay to cry. You have an emotion, you cry, you express it properly. And even to kindergarten parents, I tell, it is okay. நீங்க அழுதா அதுக்கு தப்பே இல்ல. So that the kids will see you and they will also understand that it is okay to cry. Men can also cry. Right?
And please tell people about the anonymous counselings which are available. I mean, அவங்களால நேரா வந்து பேச முடியல, பார்க்க முடியலன்னா ஆன்லைன் இருக்கா, என்ன மாதிரி பண்ணலாம் மேம் அவங்க?
Okay, நீங்க ஆக்சுவலி நீங்க எண்ட் ஆஃப் த செஷன்ல நாங்க திருப்பி நம்பர்ஸ் நான் டிஸ்ப்ளே பண்ண சொல்றேன். டாக்டர் பிரீத்தி நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி மைண்ட் கேருக்கு அவங்க ஹெட் பண்றாங்க. நீங்க நேர்ல வந்து எனக்கு பார்க்கணும், என்னால முடியாது மேம், எனக்கு என்னோட ஃபேஸ கூட காட்ட வேண்டாம். You just call these numbers, get an appointment. You can have online sessions, you can have phone call sessions. You know, we have done a lot of sessions like that where, you know, நாங்க சென்னையிலே இல்ல மேம், எங்களால வர முடியாது. Perfectly fine. You can call, get help. You can have Zoom sessions where you can even hide your face. You don't even have to show your face. But as long as you're getting that help, you know, we are more than happy to help. Please make use of us, and you know, we are here to help you and guide you. So I have worked with suicide prevention centers also. So most of my calls will be like, you know, I have such. And if you do have such disturbing thoughts, please don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate. Call us, get help. And Mindcare not only takes care of counseling sessions, they also give free medical guidance. You know, the numbers are displayed there, and please call them, get an appointment, get help. இது கிட்ஸ்க்கு மட்டும்தான்லாம் கிடையாது கவுன்சிலிங் செஷன்ஸ். மெஜாரிட்டி ஆஃப் த டைம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கிட்ஸுக்கு தான் வருவாங்க, பட் செஷன்ஸ் வந்து பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்கு தான் நடந்துட்டு இருக்கும். ஏன்னா அப்புறம் தான் they realize, oh, the kids are fine, I only need the helpன்னு ரியலைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு they will get help.
And about suicide helplines, ma'am, அது சின்னதா எனக்கு இப்போ இஷ்யூ இருக்கு, ஆனா சூசைடல் தாட் இப்படி எனக்கே தெரியும், நான் பண்ண மாட்டேன், அந்த நேரத்துலயும் பேசினா will they help ma'am?
Actually, yeah, suicide எனக்கு நான் பண்ண மாட்டேன், எனக்கு தாட்ஸ் மட்டும் தான் இருக்குன்னா, it is always better to call these numbers. இல்ல எனக்கு ரொம்ப அடிக்கடி ஃப்ரீக்வெண்டா எனக்கு வந்துட்டே இருக்கு அப்படின்னா, ஸ்னேஹா is a suicide prevention center. ஸ்னேஹான்னு நீங்க ஆன்லைன்ல போட்டாலே நம்பர்ஸ் வரும். அங்க நீங்க நேர்லயும் போகலாம், ஃபோன் காலும் பண்ணலாம், or நீங்க அவங்க வெப்சைட் போனீங்கன்னா ஆன்லைன் சாட்டிங் கூட அவைலபிளா இருக்கு. Right? So
and அது வந்து 24/7 அவைலபிளா இருக்கும் இல்லையா மேம்?
24/7 used to be, but இப்போ வந்து in personலாம் வந்து in person and phone calls is still 10 p.m. but 24/7 is chat. So that is still available. And they will not பேர் என்னன்னு கேட்க மாட்டாங்க. உங்களுக்கு சொல்லணும்னா சொல்லலாம். நீங்க எதுவுமே நீங்க உங்களுடைய personal information சொல்லாமலே you can get help. And even in Mindcare, if you don't want to share your personal details, you do not have to share your personal details and still get the help needed.
There was one person who had raised hand, Ganga PKN Abdina. If they want to ask something.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. So, participants, can you please, give your feedbacks? So, yes, sir. T. Suresh has raised your hand.
Madam,
Can you explain how they have to fill the feedback?
What, ma'am?
Madam,
How do they have to fill the feedback?
Yeah, we have shared the link. I'll again share, ma'am. There is one Mr. Suresh who's asking some question.
Sure. Yes,
Madam,
sir.
I am calling from Chidambaram, ma'am. Madam, நான் வந்து ஒர்க்கிங் பிளேஸ்ல இருக்கிறப்பயும் சரி, நம்ம வீட்டில் ஏதாவது ஒரு ஃபேமிலி ஏதாவது ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் வந்தாலும் எனக்கு அந்த ஃபுல் டே நேர போட்டு அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் சால்வ் ஆகிற வரைக்குமே எனக்கு மென்டல் ப்ரெஷர் பயங்கரமா இருக்கு. நான் வந்து வாக்கிங் போற மாதிரியே ஃபீலிங் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். எந்த ஒர்க்கும் என்னால கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ண முடியல. அதுக்கு என்ன ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்கும், அதுக்கு அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் சால்வ் ஆகிற வரைக்கும் I am also working in a working place or in a family situation. If it is any problem can be rises, என்னுடைய கான்சென்ட்ரேஷன் ஃபுல்லா அதுல தான் மேடம் இருக்கு. அதுல இருந்து என்னால மீள முடியல அந்த முடிகிற வரைக்கும். அதுக்கு ஏதாவது
ஒர்க் வந்து ஒரு 1 month லாங் ஒர்க்கா இருந்தாலும் அப்படியே தான் இருக்குமா சார்? உங்களுக்கு 1 monthமே அப்படிதான் இருப்பீங்க?
இல்ல மேடம், டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். ஏதாவது ப்ராப்ளம் வருது, ஏதாவது என்னுடைய சைடு தப்புனா நான் ரெக்டிஃபை பண்ணிக்குவேன். எங்க நான் அந்த இடத்துல சும்மா நின்றுருப்பேன், அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் வந்துருச்சுன்னா அதையே எனக்கு ஃபுல்லாவே மைண்ட்ல ஃபுல்லா ஓடிக்கிட்டே இருக்கும். கிட்டத்தட்ட 1 வீக் வரைக்குமே எனக்கு எந்த ஒர்க்குமே கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்ண முடியாது என்னால. அதனால ஃபேமிலியில அது மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம் வந்தாலும் சரி, என்னால ஃபுல் கான்சென்ட்ரேஷன் வந்து என்னுடைய லைஃப்ல என்னால பண்ணவே முடியாது. வேற ஏதோ திங்கிங் கொண்டு போகும். அதுக்கு என்ன அட்வைஸ் மேடம்?
ஓகே சார், நீங்க வந்து ரூமினேஷன், அந்த ஓவர் திங்கிங் பண்ணிட்டு அதை முடிக்கிற வரைக்கும் நான் அதை ஃபோக்கஸ் வேற எதுலயும் பண்ண மாட்டேன். சி, அதை வந்து ஃபோக்கஸ்டா அந்த ஒர்க்குக்கு பண்ணினா தட்ஸ் நாட் அ ப்ராப்ளம். ஸோ நான் ஏன்னா அந்த ஃபுல் 100% கொடுத்தாதான் எனக்கு அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் நான் சால்வ் பண்ண முடியும். இஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட். இது ஓவர் திங்கிங். அதனால தான் நான் சொன்னேன் உங்களுக்கு யூ நீட் டு லேர்ன் ஹவு டு அந்த டைம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் ஆர் அந்த ஒர்க் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட். இப்போ எனக்கு இந்த டேஸ்க்குள்ள இது பண்ணினா போதும். ஸோ அதை பண்ணிட்டு பி சாட்டிஸ்ஃபைட். பிகாஸ் யூஆர் நாட் அதை முடிக்கிற வரைக்கும் நான் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை ஆக மாட்டேன்னு இல்லாம, ஓகே இன்னைக்கு என்னால இவ்வளவுதான் பண்ண முடியும், இதை நான் பண்ணிட்டேன். ஸோ தென் யூ ஹேவ் டு டெல் யுவர் செல்ஃப், ஓகே நம்ம கரெக்டா தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கோங்கிறத நீங்க, ஏன்னா உங்களுக்கு வேற யாரும் சொல்ல போறது இல்லை நீ பரவாயில்ல நீ கரெக்டா தான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்னு. ஸோ அட்லீஸ்ட் யூ நீட் டு லேர்ன். உங்களுக்கே நீங்க சொல்ல ஆரம்பிக்கிறோம், ஓகே இவ்வளவுதான் டார்கெட், இதை நான் இன்னைக்கு முடிச்சிட்டேன். ஸோ தென் இட் இஸ் ஓகே டுமாரோ. அதுதான் வாட் இஸ் இன் யுவர் கண்ட்ரோல், வாட் இஸ் நாட் இன் யுவர் கண்ட்ரோல். உங்க கண்ட்ரோல்ல இருக்கிறத மேனேஜ் பண்ணி, டைம் மேனேஜ் பண்ணி யூ டூ தட் டேஸ் ஒர்க். யூ கேனாட் டூ எல்லாத்தையும் ஒரே நாள். அது முடிக்கிற வரைக்கும் நான் வேற எதுலயுமே ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ண மாட்டேன். இஸ் நாட் த ரைட் வே சார்.
ஓகே ஓகே, thank you ma'am, thank you.
There is one Mr. Balasubramaniam who has raised hand. Sir, yes, please, you may ask your questions. Before he answers, before he asks, there is one. Can you suggest some exercise to keep our minds from overthinking?
Actually, like I told you, I want to do the relaxation techniques and mindfulness techniques. So because of there's no time, I was not able to teach these techniques. So can we have one entire session for that?
Definitely, ma'am. And there have been several requests, like session for handling adolescence, session for women to handle their emotions, then how to be a perfect wife. So we can have different sessions for all of that as well. I think Balasubramaniam sir has now unmuted. He'll wait for a question and come.
Do you give any suggestions or any counseling for the board students, ma'am? Because I have one student, he is in class 12. After first 1 month, he is having fear. I am not able to prepare. I am not able to do. I can't do like that way, because in between he come and he is making the parents also afraid. I will do this like that way. So do you have any counseling online like this way? So I can recommend the parents to approach you, so that he will get cured, or he will become normal.
Okay, sir. Actually, we do, sir. Which school is the child going and where are you calling from, sir?
So I am from Raja Desing Public School, Senji, ma'am.
Okay, sir. So we actually in Chennai, the schools I go to, we do take care of such issues for all the 10th graders and 12th graders. Only பசங்களுக்கு மட்டும் இல்லாம பேரண்ட்ஸ்க்குமே அந்த செஷன் வைப்போம். பேரண்ட்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணணும், பேரண்ட்ஸ் என்ன பண்ணக்கூடாதுங்கிற செஷன். So we can do one thing, sir. I can talk to Dr. Preeti and ask ma'am to organize one session maybe end of next month, January, before going for the board exam or beginning of the January. So all 10th and 12th kids can join that session, sir, if that will be helpful for you.
Sure, ma'am. We will arrange.
Any personal counseling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Meantime, if the child needs one-on-one, please call the number, the Mindcare number. You can get an appointment and you can.
Ma'am will be able to provide online counseling, sir. நீங்க மிஸ் ஜோதி மேம் கிட்டயே நீங்க எங்க கிட்ட அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் கேட்டீங்கன்னா நாங்க ஃப்ரீயா அஃபோர்டபிளா அதுவும் டிஏவி அசோசியேட் ஸ்கூல் ராஜதேசிங் அண்ட் அசோசியேட் ஸ்கூல் மேம் ஃபார் ஜோதி மேம் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன். So it's free for the student as well. So please இந்த நம்பருக்கு கால் பண்ணுங்க. We will immediately help out the child, sir.
Surely, ma'am. Surely.
So you don't have to wait for the session, sir. If the child is going through a lot of stress, then immediately he can call and we can.
Just like this, I have 3-4 children, even class 10 and 12.
Sure.
So I would recommend your name so the parents could join and they may get rid of this problem what they are having. Right?
Definitely, sir. We will put you in touch. We'll put the parents and the children in touch with Jyoti ma'am for sessions, sir. You please ask for reference for Jyoti ma'am itself when you call the helpline, and we will fix appointment with ma'am itself, sir.
Surely, ma'am. Surely. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Have a good day, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Preeti, can I share the other numbers also?
Yes, ma'am. I'll stop sharing. You please share.
Yes.
Ma'am, similarly, we do need this adolescent parenting is really a burning issue. Just what we had before is not the one what we are having now, ma'am. Definitely. That is one session we really in need of. And one more thing is, I don't know, now since we are talking about men mental health, I'm not talking about women mental health, but the thing is, menopause is one space, which is really, burning and which really, we are just showing that anger only to our children because they are the பாவம் பட்ட பிள்ளைங்க no other go. We can easily show off that, and which is happening every, especially parenting things, so which really need to be addressed, especially the adolescent girls or boys or the deprival for that. So that is also one session we really want you to take it up, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Taken, ma'am. Noted, and we will.
We have shared Mrs. Jyoti ma'am's direct numbers also in the chat box. So அவங்க ஸ்கிரீன்லயும் ஷேர் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. ஜோதி மேம்கிட்ட டைரக்டா நீங்க பேசணும்னாலும் இந்த நம்பர்ஸ்க்கு கால் பண்ணலாம். மேம் வந்து இதே மைண்ட் கேர் டிஏவி மூலியமாவும் அவங்க ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுவாங்க.
Wow, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Dr. Preeti ma'am, the last number is Mindcare's number, right?
Yes, அதுவும் போட்டிருக்கேன். நான் chat boxல I have typed your two numbers also, ma'am. The 729988. So directly they can contact you. So
yes. Adolescent issues and parenting, we will definitely keep in mind, ma'am. We will take such sessions also.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time and effort. This is a real enriching session. I'm one of the parent of DAV, and such a good efforts and just such a good initiatives DAV is taking. It's really, helpful for us in many ways. And this is really a mind-blowing session, frankly speaking. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Answered many questions.
Hi, ma'am. Jyoti ma'am, I'm Malti calling from US. I joined a little late in the session, so I'm not sure if you mentioned this earlier. How can we help you? Like, in a sense, இதுல எப்படி ஜாயின் பண்ணணும் வாலண்டியரிங்காகவோ இல்ல உங்களுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்றதுக்குங்கிற மாதிரி. Is it possible? Like, I'm a life coach myself, so I would like to kind of help people.
Please share your number, ma'am. We will get in touch with you.
Definitely, ma'am.
Translation, I'm okay to volunteer, ma'am. English to Tamil translation.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you, Malati ma'am. You please contact any of these numbers, and we will get back to you and get in touch with you to get your help for volunteering as well as to get your expertise, ma'am.
Great. Thank you so much. Yes, I will do that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, good evening, Mrs. Jyoti ma'am. Vijay and Ashita. It is really informative. I'm really appreciating this.
Participants, can you please mute yourself? Sorry, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I expect a lot of informative messages and online sessions like this will definitely help us out, and even the kids also. There are a lot of information they are giving us, which will help us first. As you said, first parents should be organized and motivated first to come out of all these issues, and then it will automatically be followed by the kids. This is definitely a right thing what you said. I'm really thankful for Mrs. Jyoti as well as DAB also for organizing this, and look forward for many sessions like this.
Thank you so much, sir.
And just to, as a final note, I would like to add on. So DAV for enhancing playing by like playing games by men and women, other than children, பெரியவங்க விளையாடுறதுக்கும் அவங்களோட எல்லா ஸ்கூல்ஸ் அட்லீஸ்ட் சென்னையில எங்களுக்கு தெரியும், அசோசியேட் ஸ்கூல்ஸ் தெரியல, சென்னையில இருக்கிற எல்லா ஸ்கூல்லயும் அந்த பிளே கிரவுண்ட், பிளே ஏரியா, ஃபுட்பால், த்ரோ பால், பேட்மிண்டன் எல்லாத்தையுமே they opened up for parents. So they can book அவங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸோட 2-3 பேரோட சேர்ந்து they can book it with very nominal fee, சும்மா ஒரு 50-100 அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கும். They can plan and play. ஸோ உங்களுக்கு விளையாடணும் இடம் இல்லை அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு இது இருந்ததுன்னா அது அவைலபிளா இருக்கு. டிஏவி வெப்சைட்லயும் அது அவைலபிளா இருக்கு. கிரீடா கேந்திரம்ங்கிற ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் அகாடமி மூலமா டிஏவி அதையும் செய்யறாங்க. ஜஸ்ட் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் டு ஆட் ஆன் டு ஜோதி மேம் செஷன்.
Madam, I have another one to say.
Yes,
the students are actually having that burnout. மாதிரி ரொம்ப நேரம் படிச்சு ஆக்சுவலா பேர்ன் அவுட் ஆயிடுறாங்க. அது ஒரு பெரிய ப்ராப்ளமா இருக்கு. ஸோ அது வந்து எப்படி பேரண்ட்ஸ் எப்படி அவங்க அந்த மாதிரி சுச்சுவேஷன்ல எப்படி ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுறாங்க?
என்ன கிரேட் சார்?
He is in +1. It's 11th.
He's in 11th standard. Okay.
Integrated, IIT integrated.
Okay. See, IIT integrated இருக்க எல்லா கிட்ஸும் burn out தான் ஆயிடுவாங்க சார். Not only the kids, the familyயுமே burn out ஆயிடும் கொஞ்ச நாளையில. So is it normal? It is very, very normal. See, but we can tell them, if they plan and have a schedule, they will still have at least an hour of entertainment. See, my kids have also gone through all of these drills. So if you plan, because usually what is happening in the school integration போயிட்டு வந்தாங்கன்னா, then at least there should be some relaxation for them. If they are not going for tuitions, that's the best thing a parent can do. As long as they focus 100% school and they come home and they study on their own, that is more than enough, sir. Tuition எதுவும் போடாம. டியூஷன் போட்டீங்கன்னா ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்லி பேர்ன் அவுட் ஆகுவாங்க. அண்ட் ஒரு டீனேஜ் பாய்க்கு per week 350 minutes அவங்களுக்கு வந்து பிசிக்கல் ஆக்டிவிட்டி வேணும். ஸோ செக் இஃப் தே ஆர் கெட்டிங் 350 minutes அவங்க போய் வெளியில விளையாடுறாங்களான்னு பாருங்க. ஏன்னா அந்த விளையாடாத கிட்ஸ் will definitely have burnout. And விளையாடுற kids are always doing much better in academics than kids who are always with the books, sir. And நீங்க வந்து 4 hours straight 5 hours straightலாம் ஒரு கிட்னால உட்கார்ந்து படிக்கவே முடியாது. 1 hour அப்புறம் they have to get up and have a small break. It can be a stretching break or something. அந்த டைம்ல phone break இல்லாம வேற எந்த break வேணாலும் எடுத்துக்கலாம். They can even call and talk to somebody, not typing, chatting, but call and talk to somebody is okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
So maybe one more question out of curiosity, not related to this thing, but the thing is, so nowadays, children are using foul languages, and sometimes foul language வந்து pet name nickname எல்லாம் வச்சுக்கிறாங்க. அது ரொம்ப காமனா வேற ஆயிடுது, which is really a shocking when it comes to us. அதுல ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் மதர் ஃபக்குங்கிற வார்த்தைலாம் நம்ம யூஸே பண்ண மாட்டோம். அது வந்து அவங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப நார்மலா இருக்கு. We really don't know how to come out of it and how we can make them to come out of it. So those kind of things also need to be addressed, and probably it's not only for adolescents, even a young age லயே கொண்டு வந்துடுறாங்க. How to address it நிஜமாவே தெரியல.
See, the one thing I have noticed is, like you said, 6th லயே ஆரம்பிக்கிறாங்க, and majority of the kids don't even know the meaning of it, right? So, and there are kids in 11th and 12th who do not use it. Again, our values and our morals play a very big role. நம்ம வீட்ல it's very difficult. நீங்க எல்லாரும் கிளாஸ்ல யூஸ் பண்றாங்க, நம்ம கிட் மட்டும் யூஸ் பண்ணாம இருக்கணும்னா that kid should understand that it is okay. இதெல்லாம் நான் பண்ணாம கூட நான் கூலா இருக்கலாம், because they want to fit in. So only if you use such foul languages, they think it's not just using foul language, right? Calling teachers also with such foul names.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very shocking. And the thing is, and when we go to classrooms, we do take classroom sessions also, and we tell them, it is for foul language, it is for bullying, it is for substance, drug, all of these things we tell. It is okay. No solradum gethudaangarada, as parents, as counselors, we have to tell the boys and girls. Girls are not anything less. Girls பயங்கரமா யூஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க இந்த foul language. Right? So we have to tell them, just because he's using it doesn't mean it is cool at all.
True, ma'am.
As long as they understand that, right? So they will eventually learn, they will understand. So, but we have to be persistent. We have to keep telling. It is not, will you be okay if that person calls me with that name? We will not be okay, right? So it's the same way. Just because he is using it, you don't have to use it to your teacher or anybody older than you, even your classmates. But you have to be persistent. You have to continue telling them.
Thank you, ma'am.
If there are no more questions, should we wait, ma'am, or if
no, if there are no questions, then we can wind up. So, are there any questions or any feedbacks? Anything you want to say? You can.
But that was a great session, ma'am, and the feedbacks have already started pouring in. So thank you so much, Jyoti ma'am, for yet again session. I think Mr. Narendran was unmuted. I'm not sure.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, please. Mr. Narendran, I think you want to ask a question. Please ask.
No question, just this program was very, very, very useful. Actually, our whole family is listening to this. I made my kids also to sit and listen, because I have 2 boys at home. With my husband, I'm also listening. I told them actually before the session itself. My kid was asking, why mama why you let Appa listen? Like, I told them, no, I want to understand about you all. Now you are majority. So I want to understand about you all also in future also. So that it will be helpful for you also to understand better about yourself, what a man mean. Like, so it is really, really, really helpfully. It was really nice, ma'am. No words.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very kind of you.
Thank you.
That was a great feedback. So thank you all. Thank you so much, Jyoti ma'am, for an enlightening session. It was really useful. You've touched upon several facts which go unnoticed, which are not understood. So we will be planning more sessions in the coming months. As well, a monthly one session we are planning for Mindcare webinar. So we will take up all these feedbacks, and we will again join you all for yet another enlightening session. Till then, namaste. Thank you.
Thank you so much.